But to your point about financial advisors, I've heard more than one story, and you probably had too, of when you don't have your clients properly insured, it also sets up an adversarial relationship between the financial advisor and the client because now the client has to fight the financial advisor when they want to get access to their assets, as they invariably will have to at some point.
Yep.
And I've heard more than one story of my clients where they had cancer in the family or something like that, some reason where they needed to get access to what supposedly is their own money. And they had to fight their financial advisor, and it took them weeks to get their own money out of the market. If they had had proper insurance policies in force, they would not have had to do that.
I have a story for you. I'm working with a client who is paralyzed from the chest down, been like that for many years. The majority of his life has been like that. And so he's now approaching retirement. We're a year off. He's got nearly $1 million with his financial advisor in retirement accounts that are going to be unlocked. And so now he's wanting to retire so that he can go to therapy more often, so that he can continue to heal his body. And by going to physical therapy, he can increase longevity. The chances of him living longer are much higher if he gets the proper treatment, but it would require him to work less. And I started educating him on annuities, different topic, but it's
No,
part
you're just
of the,
chasing a commission, Denzel. You're just chasing
it's
a fat commission. How dare you?
exactly, it's part of the life insurance conversation though, like
Right.
in terms of retirement and longevity and things like that. And I was trying to actually do a three-way with the advisor, bring them in
Partner
to
with them.
show them,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
let me show you how our client can live a longer life and extend their dollars on a guaranteed basis, and how you can continue to win because your client won't run out of money. If they don't run out of money, you continue to get paid with your admin fees and commissions. So if I only take a portion now, accelerate that, guarantee it over a period of time, and allow more of his assets to stay with you, you can keep working for him, compound that money, make your commission. He won't have to touch that because we're going to use a combination of life insurance, annuity products, and other methods. You got to think long term. You're thinking short. He's going to take a bulk of money out and now your income's going to go down. What if it went like that with a lot of your clients? And I think that's very possible if we can all be on the same page. But when it comes like fighting and arguing, having to prove your point, the customer ends up losing on a tremendous opportunity. And that's what we're faced
Yeah.
with today.
It's
So coming
sad.
back to convertible term is one of those things. At the very beginning, we could be setting themselves up for long-term success
Right.
and providing a tremendous hedge against life happening. Not just inflation, but life happens. How do you hedge against that? Insurance, number one.
It gives you one thing above all else, optionality. Having convertible term gives you optionality, which is something that I think wealthy people appreciate and understand. I don't know that more Americans don't appreciate it like they should. But the other thing too is that I think, unfortunately, life insurance agents are looked down upon, like we're somehow not experts and we're somehow less than the fiduciaries and the financial advisors of the world. They don't seem to appreciate that life insurance is a real specialty. So they talk about term life insurance like it's just one amorphous blob, like it's all the
Yeah.
same. It's just a commodity. There's no big deal. No, actually, there is a science behind how much death benefit are we getting, which insurance company are we placing it with? Let me pre-underwrite you to try and make sure we get you the best rating. How long is that term going to be? What's it convertible to? Are there restrictions on the conversion? Are there living benefits? What riders are we putting on it? All these different things that are very important to make sure that the client has the right solution. More people should appreciate the real skill that goes into even a convertible term life insurance policy. Because as I've matured in my understanding of life insurance, I think you too, Denzel, I sell more convertible term than ever before because it has a much broader application. Not everyone is yet ready for whole life insurance. Not everyone
Yep.
can get over the negative perception that's associated with it. Not everyone believes in infinite banking, but pretty much everybody should have death benefit protection where their insurability is locked in and guaranteed.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, COVID did something very good for guys like us. It gave us an opportunity to control the narrative. In my own world, I'm at a point now where I get very little resistance as to clients getting on the phone with me and trying to use other arguments against life insurance. I can honestly say that conversation is no longer happening. It's flipped to, how can this work for me, Denzel? Can you explain how this makes sense? I'm having a hard time understanding it. Can you help me understand it? It's not, show me this is better than what I'm doing. It's not that anymore. So I think what COVID did, again, it was a horrible event globally, but I like to see the good that comes out of some of these things, and that allows me to stay optimistic and continue to serve at the highest level, which is, a lot of people died during COVID for many different reasons. And at the same time, experts, quote unquote experts, lost a ton of credibility in the last 5 years, like a lot. So bad that you have a large amount of Americans, just people all over the world, getting their financial education on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you name it, from quote unquote gurus, unlicensed professionals, people that are not traditional finance, people that are not on Wall Street. These sort of rogue, rebel, young, older, married, more likable, more relatable people that are getting in front of a camera like you and myself now have the opportunity to control the narrative surrounding life insurance and how important it is due to this black swan event we just all witnessed. Everybody at this point, I would know someone or of someone that passed away during COVID. And
Denzel, I have to give you some credit. A lot of that has nothing to do with COVID and has everything to do with the authority platform that you have built because you come across extremely well in your videos. You come across with a lot of authority and you are very diplomatic in your presentation. It's not over the top, it's not sensationalized, it's very straightforward. And people can see that you are speaking the truth. And even when you may be, because all of us maybe have made mistakes, you are speaking what you truly believe. There's nothing fake about what you're saying. So even when people disagree with you, they can see that you are speaking what you believe in. And there's a lot to be said for that. I've had clients say that to me, and it didn't really hit me at the time how important that really is. Even clients who decided not to do infinite banking, they're like, you believe this, you clearly believe in this. And they respected that. There's nothing phony about the presentation. It's not just marketing. So I don't think it's just COVID, man. I think it's also you because your
thank you.
presentation is some of the best, just the ways you come across. It's clear that you're an excellent communicator. You communicate these concepts very well, and you handle the critics much better than I do. I need to acquire some of your patience and humility and charity and meekness in dealing with the critics. I let them drag me down to their level. It's just, I don't know, it's a character flaw in me, but I've gotten better. I've gotten better, but still, I get dragged down into these little hissy fits that I shouldn't be dragged down into because I do think
Yeah,
the vast majority of the people watching are probably not going to drop a comment. They're probably just listening and learning.
true.
And the people who scream the loudest are a tiny, tiny percentage of the population. And so it seems like the world is against you. And really, it's just two or three people that nobody cares about.
It is. It's a very small group of people. And the way I look at haters now over the last few years in my practice is a reminder that I can keep getting better maybe there's a different way I can explain this. There's haters that no matter what you do, it's always wrong. So those people are useless to you for personal growth. No matter what I do, if I go left, it's wrong. If I go right, it's wrong. If I go back,
Yeah.
it's wrong. If I
Well,
go like,
you
it's
can grow
always
in
wrong.
virtue. They sanctify you. You can grow in virtue, not necessarily hone your business skills, but you can grow in patience and meekness
Oh, for
from
sure.
those people. Yeah.
But then there's people that don't agree with me, but took the time to watch my video in depth and give their criticism and their questions and feedback. Those are the people I like to spend a little more time with. Then there's your skeptics. Those are totally fine. They're either going to go to your camp or somewhere else. And what I've learned to do over the years is to the skeptics, I say, go look up this person that doesn't agree with what I'm saying so you can get the full context and you can make a really good decision. Because I'm obviously going to have a bias. Everyone's going to have their bias in terms of how they operate, how they proceed in life because of their own personal life experiences and the results they've been able to get. So success looks very different. So I've started saying, go look here and here. These are some great resources. And then what often happens is I then have the opportunity to have a conversation with them. And maybe they don't do business with me, but because I might be partnered with someone that doesn't do what I do, I'm able to refer them. And now everybody won in that scenario. And maybe they come back around a year or 2 years later. I've had that happen too, where I've had many people that were just like, I love what you do on the velocity banking side, Denzel. I've been able to pay off my debt and get my credit up, my cash flow. I've been using credit cards. But this whole life thing, you lost me. A couple years go by, someone dies in the family. Now I'm getting a phone call. They're like, I didn't see it from that perspective. Yes, investing is cool. But where on earth can I put $100, a couple $1,000s, and get hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars in death benefit? Where on earth
You
can
give
you
me
do that?
pennies. Yep. You give
Yeah.
me pennies, I give you dollars, right? You
Yeah.
give me pennies, I give you dollars.
Where on earth can I get that? The guarantees, security, and like where on earth? I don't know where else. And
And I'm glad we're talking about convertible term because you brought it up. It really does come back to the death benefit. Even if we're talking about infinite banking, it all comes back to the death benefit. That's where everything flows from. So when I hear criticisms of infinite banking, I find myself agreeing with the critics because they're criticizing some caricature of infinite banking. They'll say, well, you guys don't care about the death benefit. You just focus on the cash value. No, that's a caricature actually of infinite banking. I talk about convertible term because if we just take out a whole life insurance policy on you and we design it for infinite banking, it's rare that it's going to have enough death benefit to properly protect your family. So we've got to supplement it with convertible term. And if that means we pay less in your whole life policy, that's perfectly fine. Offense wins games, defense wins championships. We've got to get you locked in first. And that death benefit is where everything comes from. Without that permanent death benefit, there is no cash value. And to derail our conversation a little bit, I sometimes will hear people saying very imprecise things like, well, this part of your premium goes to death benefit. In this part of your premium goes to cash value. And if you pay to that stupid little base premium, it's going to death benefit. But if you pay to that wonderful paid up additions rider, it's going to cash value. No, every single dollar you pay in purchases death benefit. Period. Period. What is paid up additions? Paid up additional life insurance. In other words, additional death benefit. The only way to get more cash value is to get more death benefit. Now, yes, there's a way in which we design it so that the cash value is accelerated. Sure.
correct.
But ultimately, every dollar you pay in is going to death benefit. It's a matter of how we structure that permanent death benefit. But there's no such thing as buying cash value. There's no such thing as premium dollars going directly to cash value. There's no such thing. It all goes to the death benefit. And from that permanent death benefit derives the cash value because what is cash value? It's the net present value of that future death benefit discounted for future premium payments. And I know I just got way too technical and threw us
No, that's
away
very
from
good.
convertible term life insurance, but bringing it back to convertible term, that death benefit is so important. I would much rather you pay less premium into a whole life insurance policy or no premium at all and
Mhm.
get the full death benefit you're eligible for in convertible term.
Yes. And let me say this, because you mentioned the caricature of, say, infinite banking or of some subset strategies, convertible term, whole life, how it fits into finances. I believe that there are different groups of people at different seasons in their finances. I'm going to use me as an example. When I first started, 22, 23 years old, on YouTube, I was already 4 years into my personal finance journey and getting into infinite banking, velocity, doing these different things. In that season, that 23-year-old, that 22-year-old is only concerned about growth. So I'm actually one of those people that had no concern to the death benefit. It mattered nothing to me at the time. As a licensed insurance agent, it wasn't the priority. It was like a feature and benefit. I was like, oh, wow, if anything happens to me, this death benefit is massive. I've got almost $5 million of death benefits. My family's going to be just fine. It wasn't ranked high. It was number 4 or 5 for me in terms of all the benefits you get with permanent life insurance. Cash value was the main thing. So here's what I created in my own atmosphere is I allowed the critics and haters and skeptics to only judge one benefit of whole life, which is cash value, which then what do they compare it to? S&P 500, investing, saving in a different accounts. Denzel, I can get a higher rate of return here than your cash value over here. So for a couple of years in my early practice, it became that. Over time, with my case studies, and as you mentioned earlier, just like what I believed to be true at the time, that decreased. But what decreased it even further is when I had my own experience of someone close to me nearly passing away. And I had wrote a life insurance policy on them. And in that moment, the death benefit became number one. Had they not made it, that death benefit would have protected my entire family on my wife's side to get them through that horrific event of one of their children almost passing away.
Yep. And here's what's
So
so amazing about that. You get into it, you're young, you don't care about the death benefit, you get into it for the cash value and you're focused on that. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But over time, you grow into an appreciation for the death benefit and you've
correct.
already secured at an incredibly low rate. Whereas most people, by the time they come to an appreciation of the death benefit, they have no life insurance. And now they have to buy it. And now it's more expensive. And now they're probably just buying term. Whereas you get into the whole life insurance policy, and to use a word you used, depending on what season of life you're in, you appreciate different components of it more. People
Correct.
appreciate the long-term care protection as they get older into their 60s and 70s and realize that they might have some extra healthcare costs, knowing they can use that death benefit for long-term care is a huge peace of mind feature. And you didn't mention it directly, but the peace of mind that comes
Oh,
from
yeah.
having that death benefit protection is enormous. And you will make much better financial decisions when you have that peace of mind.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Caleb Williams of Host Better Wealth.
Who's that
He
guy?
often,
Nobody's ever heard of that guy.
he often makes a statement. If people truly understood the power of life insurance when set up and used properly, we would have a line outside our doors for our practices. People would be rushing to get this product for their household. And I'm experiencing that daily in my practice because I've been able to tweak my message, course correct, and highlight all these different things that come with insurance, how your pennies get dollars and also multiple layers of security around your financial portfolio. That I do have clients reaching out daily, comments coming in daily. People are lining up outside my door to obtain some kind of life insurance, whether it's whole life or convertible term, and add into their financial portfolio to create that legacy for their
Right.
family, which is
Exactly. And
amazing.
it's so great doing what we do because this is a massive gap in pretty much everybody's financial plan. You look at just about anybody's financial plan. I have not yet come across one person, not one, who is properly insured with life insurance. So we don't have to talk about whole life, infinite banking, philosophy banking, or anything like that. Just say, hey, here's how much death benefit you have currently. And by the way, it's with a crummy term policy that's not convertible to anything good. Here's how much death benefit you're eligible for. Let me explain to you how that's calculated. And you can see why actually they're undervaluing you because no insurance company ever promises to make you whole. They only promise to limit your losses to something manageable and
Mhm.
why you should secure that. So if you have $500,000 of term today, maybe you should have 3 million of convertible term with a good mutually held insurance company and an agent like myself who knows what they're doing. And we've dramatically increased your peace of mind. Life insurance is the opposite of everything else. With everything else, you want what you don't have. The grass always looks greener on the other side. You appreciate something when you want it, you can't get it. With
Mhm.
life insurance, it seems to be the opposite. When you don't have it, nobody really knows what they're missing and they don't care. But once you have it, you start to appreciate it. You grow into appreciation of it more and more, especially with whole life because it ages like a fine wine. It gets better every year. So the more people have it, the more they want it and they want more of it and they cannot get enough of it.
Yes, I experienced that. I'm 7 years into my career. And so the policies that I wrote 6 years ago, even as early as 7 years ago, people are coming back. I'm ready to get my kids going. I need to get one for my husband. I'm looking for a second one. I wish I would have did more, Denzel. I'm totally honest with my earliest clients. I'm like, going back over the years, I'm like, hey, let's review your policy. Let's review what I did because we only looked at it one dimensionally at that time, which was the cash value. There might be some
Right.
other pieces that were missing that we could totally make up for. And they've been funding it properly for 7 years, and just seeing all these other things that come with it and what they've been able to use with it, incredible. And I'm now seeing that in a short period of time just with convertible term. There is that peace of mind that I truly believe I get that client insured even with $300 to $500 or less in cash flow per month. So their cash flow can go down, say $100, but they perform better in the strategy that we come up with, whether it's velocity banking or not. They're actually doing it more efficiently, sticking to the numbers, improving, getting their cash flow higher. And we're having conversations about like, how do you feel now that if anything happens to you, mom of three, single divorced mom of four, if anything happens to you, you've got this $1 million+ death benefit that we've been able to secure on you at age 50, as opposed to thinking we needed to do these other things first to then get that. I'm willing to pay more interest on debt service over here to have the proper amount of coverage here. And that's
100%.
not me saying it because I'm going to make a commission on convertible
No.
term. Mind you, I've been in the business for 7 years. I've never sold convertible term until the last year of my practice because I truly just didn't understand. I didn't see where it fit in. For me, it was like, get them in the whole life as quickly as possible because of how amazing it is. When I would have people wait to get whole life to get their debt in order, not realizing could have got them something such as convertible term with all these living benefits